All right, welcome members and prospects. This is the National Demolition Association's 2022 Member Benefits and Services webinar. I'm your host, Jeff Lambert. I'm the Executive Director of the National Demolition Association. I have a few folks joining me. We have about 15 slides to get through, and at the end, we will be taking questions, so please feel free to use the chat function. A little bit about our agenda today. So we're going to be covering benefits and services. So what about NDA? Who do we serve? What are the types of membership? And then I want to drill down a little bit further into what are the specific benefits. So our networking opportunities, our training, education, government affairs, our safety resources, best practices, and then our communication vehicles. And then I want to share what membership means not only to our members, but what it means for the industry writ large. So I have a few folks joining me today that are going to talk about what membership means to them and their companies. And then we want to take your questions at the end. So without further ado, I will dive in here. My name, as I said, is Jeff Lambert, Executive Director for the National Demolition Association. I also have Mr. Scott Laird, who is with our Marketing Communications Committee. He is with Independence Demolition. Mr. Peter Bigwood, Marketing Communications Committee, and with the great French company Mecalac, and Bill Abraham with the Marketing Communications Committee. He is with Company Wrench. So gentlemen, say hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right, I should say Mr. Laird and Mr. Bigwood also serve on the NDA Board of Directors. So what to know about the association? If you're curious, founded in 1973, the NDA serves the voice of the demolition, providing education, advocacy, and industry updates. To put simply, we help our members win work and then deliver that work. And safety is a paramount concern for us. So all the best practices that we have, all the guidance documents that we produce, all have, at the end of the day, safety in mind, and then helping you be more efficient and perform your work better and without incident. We represent over 400 firms across the demolition industry. So we connect our members with peers and service providers within the industry to enable you to improve your performance and grow your business. Types of companies that we serve. So conventional demolition, dismantlement. We do have members that have complete horizontal operations from total demolition to abatement to landfills. Mold remediation, civil engineering. We have some members that do a lot of heavy highway work. Some members that do industrial recovery. So power plants is a big topic and something we just released guidance documents on and had an education session at our summer leadership forum. So if you haven't had a chance to join us in person, I would highly recommend you take a moment and look at our website from time to time and come and join us at one of our leadership forums or our annual convention, which I'll touch on here in a minute. Types of membership. So regular membership, 10 million and above dollar volume for contractors, and then 10 million and below. So 2,500 for contractors, 10 million above, then 2,000 for 10 million and below for contractors. Associate membership, so these are our suppliers, our partners in the industry, Volvo, Company Wrench, Mecalac, the producers that put the fine equipment together that enable you to execute your projects. And then we do have close to a dozen international members. So we have companies from Great Britain, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand that have joined our association and then do some work here in the United States. So, broad overview, networking opportunities, exchanging best practices. I see this at every meeting I'm at, every forum I'm at, members shaking one another's hands, exchanging business cards. I've seen on dozens of occasions where a member will meet somebody that lives in Louisiana, they're from California, their company is doing contracting work in Louisiana. They call up that member and say, hey, can you hook me up with somebody that does hydraulic maintenance, that works on asbestos remediation. I need to subcontract some work out. That happens all the time at NDA, not to mention the relationships that are formed with Volvo, Caterpillar, Company Wrench for products and services that members need. Educate employees. So we do have a Foundations of Demolition training series that touches on risk management, estimating, job cost tracking, and then project management. We produce a series of guidance documents. So we'll be releasing this fall an implosion guidance document to help you and your company. And then we have embarked on certifications. So we will be offering next year a certified demolition professional designation. So we hope that if you haven't taken any of our foundations courses, I would encourage you to do so. It's 40 hours of training. If you need to brush up on something, whether it's risk management or estimating, encourage you to take a look at our website and sign up for our next offering. Networking opportunities. So membership affords you membership pricing to all of our events, our convention, our expo, and our leadership forum. I just mentioned we came back from our leadership forum in Colorado. We have education sessions there. We had a panel discussion. We have had panel discussions in the past on such topics as working with GCs and owners. So I would look for more education opportunities like that at our leadership forums. Plus, it gives you a chance to meet some of the leaders in the industry and folks that really have tons of experience and really know the business. So it's a great opportunity to meet new folks. I mentioned the Foundations of Demolition training series. In addition, at our annual convention, we always do a superintendent boot camp and an equipment maintenance course. And we do have online training. So we offer OSHA 10 30-hour training online at our website. So you've heard me mention the website a few times. I would encourage you to check it out under the membership drop-down bar. There's a listing of all of our member benefits and services, and I'll touch on a few more of those here in a second. So we do have a government affairs program. We regularly submit comment to the Hill, to the White House, and to regulatory agencies on issues of great concern for the industry. The best example I can give you was during the pandemic, right at the very beginning, the first 2 weeks. If y'all remember back then, there was a lot of hubbub about essential services. Who's going to be able to continue working? We worked overtime for those first 2 weeks. We sent letters to the White House, the Governors Association, CISA, Department of Homeland Security, and the Hill requesting essential services. I'm happy to report we were able to gain essential services through our efforts. So if there's one clear reason to join, it's to help support us and give us the resources that we need to be able to represent the industry on the Hill for crucial things like this, like tax reform, the vaccination requirement that you guys may remember. We weighed in on all of these things with Department of Labor, OSHA, and EPA. We do have OSHA compliance resources on our website. Would encourage you to check that out. I said 10 and 30-hour training online courses are online. We do have for members high reach documents. We have a safety manual that many members take, download, use, adapt their own training manuals or use it as their own. We have a membership directory, which is both public. We have a public directory. So I frequently get calls from state and local municipalities. They're looking for members in their area. So our public directory, I always point them in that direction. I know people win work through that public directory, but we also have a members only directory that lists a contact at the company, the website, who to call, as well as products and services that are offered by that particular member. So somebody may be looking for somebody that does chimney stacks. Somebody else may be looking for somebody that does nuclear decontamination. It's all in our members only directory. I also would be remiss if I didn't mention our hazard communication manual, our pre-engineering survey, our quick coupler safety, and then guidance for demolition of power plants and more. I also want to point out we do have safety talks on our website available for free to members. A lot of our members use that in their daily safety talks. In addition to that, we do have a members only safety app. You have to be a member to download it, use it. Many members use that for their daily safety talks out in the field with their staff and their crew. That is updated regularly with new safety talks. For instance, right when COVID hit, we released a COVID safety talk like within 3 weeks. So I would encourage you, it's all on our website. If you go under the membership dropdown, there are instructions and a how-to video on how to use the member safety app. So I would encourage you to do so. Win work and save money. So I mentioned our membership directory. I know folks use that. I know local municipalities use that. I know GCs use that to find contractors in their areas. Federal procurement opportunities. If you do any federal work, we do have an online portal where we list federal bids for contracts. So I would encourage you to take a look at that. We also offer several discounts. So we have a savings for member program. It's a buyer's co-op that we are a part of. Savings on anything from shipping to fuel to cellular services, uniforms, etc. You name it. There are about 24 different products that you can get a savings discount on of 3% or more. Many members use the fuel discount. I have a lot of members that charge $400,000 or $500,000 a year for the savings on the fuel program that we offer. So I would encourage you to check that out. You do have to sign up for it, savings for members. It's all on the website under the membership dropdown. And then our NDA library. So this is a members only access. We have about 60 documents in there, anything from bid sheets to manuals, employee time sheets, etc. You can go in there and download it. We've taken logos off. We've taken off any personal information from the folks that donated these documents so that you can download them and use them for your own company. And then finally, we have a bunch of products in the store from manuals to our quick coupler guide. So I would encourage you. And then we do have a hazardous communication manual. They're free to members. So I'd encourage you to download those. Communication resources. So we do have a weekly newsletter we send out to all members. We do update folks on happening in the association online. We have tidbits that we collect throughout the week, anything that's relevant to demolition specific, whether it's scrap pricing, it could be something on infrastructure that goes in our newsletter. We do have a new online content portal, which is Demo on Demand. We interview our members quite frequently. If you have an idea for a story, we would encourage you to go to our newsletter section on the website and contact Alexis Schlosser if you have a story you'd like us to promote on Demo on Demand. And then we do have a magazine, Demolition. So it's a bi-monthly, goes out to all of our members, great resource. We always have something in there, a legal take from Mark Leese, who works frequently with us and will help dissect new rules, regulations coming down from regulatory agencies. We do have a Twitter handle. We do have LinkedIn, Facebook. We offer a monthly podcast, Demolition Now. So we will introduce new products and services on that podcast, give you an overview of government affairs, what's happening in the industry. I encourage you to check that out. And then, of course, I mentioned it, our member directory, great resource for you. Demolition Phoenix 2023. So we just came off perhaps what was the best convention we've ever had in sunny San Diego. We had an amazing live demolition event. We do have the former chair of that committee on this call, Mr. Scott Laird, but we had 70 exhibitors there. We had 40 exhibitors out on our live demolition site. We did training, education. We had an awards ceremony. We encourage you to register for Demolition Phoenix next year once registration opens this fall. But it is an amazing time. Mr. Laird, I don't know if you have anything else you want to add to that.
Just a wonderful opportunity to meet and greet with a lot of your peers, a lot of the people that you know within the industry or you would like to meet within the industry. They're all, the main players are always in town, always willing to extend a hand and talk about demolition. We were very lucky in San Diego. San Diego turned out to be an amazing event after unfortunately having to cancel in New Orleans. because of COVID, we were all very much on edge. But with the great work of the convention committee, the staff, the board of directors, it turned out to be, and of course I am extremely biased as being convention chair, the best ever convention that the NDA has ever held. So if you get an opportunity to come to Phoenix, it is a wonderful, wonderful event. If you need any more information, or if you would like to just chat about what you can expect at a convention, there's 3 gentlemen on here. I'm sure Jeff can post up some links. We'd be glad to talk to you about what you would expect if it's your first time ever at a convention. We did initiate a first members reception, first attendees reception, which was wonderfully attended. And we are working on maybe doing something with a mentoring program where we will assign some people within the NDA. If it's your first ever time at convention, they will walk you around, introduce you to a lot of people like Jim Reedite from Dicon Blasting, one of our icons within our industry, for what he's done with the blasting portion of our industry. We can meet and greet with him. That's always a great thing. Somebody like Peter Bigwood from Mechalac, they will sit down and talk to you about not only their equipment, but equipment within our industry. And then, of course, Mr. Abrams with Company Wrench will be very, very happy to talk to you about the opportunity Company Wrench offers. A wonderful, as a contractor, Company Wrench offer a wonderful range of rental equipment that demolition contractors can rent, that you can't rent from people like United or Sunbelt. So come join us in Phoenix. It should be a great event.
And I would just add, from the perspective of a manufacturer, the convention has always been a huge part of the attraction and the core advantage or benefit of being part of the NDA. But I would just point out that the convention had been done a certain way for many, many years. And just in recent years, if you've never been to one, or if you haven't been to one in a long time, it's important to remember that there is a huge, huge leap forward, and that's the live demo with folks who bring in the heavy equipment, demolition-specific attachments, and they're product specialists. And you can come in, you can operate the equipment, you can bring in your team, your operators, they can try the latest equipment, the latest attachments, and it's an incredible resource. And it really, I'd have to say, just reinvigorated the convention in a major way. So and again, kudos to Scott for pulling it all together through very difficult circumstances. It was he's right, it was a tremendous show, but I strongly suspect Phoenix will compete.
Absolutely. I mean, and just to go off what Scott and Peter were saying, it is a tremendous, at that live demolition, we do on-site equipment maintenance there. We have a superintendent boot camp there. So, it's really a chance for you to go test out your equipment. I have members that will bring their crews with them to shop around for new equipment. So if you think about it, the time that your company spends when you're looking for a new piece of equipment, going to a dealer, taking the folks with you to test it, shopping around, that could take 2-3 months. You can knock that all out in one day. And if you think about the 2-3 months that it takes you to shop around for the equipment and figure out what works best for you, the amount of staff time that it takes, pulling people off job sites, etc., to go kick the tires, meet with the people, you can knock this out all in one day. It's well worth your money. And I will say, with our member discount, for this, and then even our training programs, like $150 off. If you're training like 10 people, that pays for the price of your membership. And similarly, if you're going to bring like 10 people to our convention, that most of your membership is that discount alone. So encourage you to join us. It's going to be great. This year was amazing. So kudos to Mr. Laird.
One other thing, if I may, Jeff, Peter addressed the idea that these machines are available for you guys to come and your operators to come and test them. And it's not just, waving them in the air and opening them or closing them. We have materials on site, demolition, concrete, scrap steel for processing with the shears, and all the different manufacturers bring their gear in and set up on these different piles of material. So it's real world. I mean, it's not a demolition site per se, but the materials that you'll be able to process and or handle are in fact materials from a demolition site. So you get a real world grasp of what the individual machine or attachment can or can't do at that live demo event. And that's worth a lot.
Yep.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm sure you have equipment that you work with right now. And you're like, oh, if it just had this capability, well, you can go to this event and see what can have that capability, right? It's a powerful event. So I want to take a quick second here to talk about what membership means to the industry, and then I want to hand it over to our volunteers. But when you join the association, so not only are you joining a group of like-minded individuals, you are joining a network that wants to help you succeed. You are joining a network that has best practices that can help you make the connections you need to make. But more importantly, you are contributing to resources the association has to bring to bear, like what I was talking about with essential services and government affairs. If it wasn't for our members, we would not have the resources to have staff to focus on these issues, to send letters to the Hill, to fight for your company, to fight for you as professionals when onerous regulations come down the pike, and they do happen. So not only is the network extremely powerful, but having the ability to combine forces and work with OSHA. The other thing I want to say is we formed an alliance with OSHA last year. We trained their compliance assistant safety officers on demolition best practices. So as many of you may know, some of the compliance assistant safety officers aren't very familiar with some aspects of demolition. So we took it upon ourselves to, over a 4-day period, train them on specific. Those are the kinds of things that your membership provides the resources for us to learn and do. So I would encourage you, if you're not a member, join. If you know somebody else in the industry who is not a member, encourage them to join. The more members we have, the more clout we have, and it just means so much. And then on a personal level, just seeing the friendships and the relationships that are formed. Like I said, Mr. Laird is sitting in Colorado right now, but I know he has a very good friends in Southern California. And I know he has very good friends in Georgia and across the country that he can call at any time. And that, to me, to see that has been enriching and invaluable, because I too share in those friendships. And I would just encourage you, again, if you know somebody that's not a member, please encourage them to sign up. It's on our website. I'll tell you how to do that here in a second. But I want to pass the floor over to Mr. Scott Laird to talk about what membership means to him and his company.
Thank you, Jeff. Scott Laird. I work for Independence Demolition, Independence Excavating out of Independence, Ohio. We are one of the largest demolition contractors in the US. We use the NDA in many, many ways. We use it through our safety department, uses our team talks. We download them all the time. There are safety questions arise that maybe our safety manager doesn't have the answer. He'll reach out to me. I will hit up friends within the industry and we'll get answers. Our company finds the value in this organization, the NDA, because when we have problems with a piece of equipment or something that we just can't get our hands on, we can make calls to people like Peter Bigwood or Bill Abrams or Tony Denhode from Volvo or Terry Sturgill from Shearcore, And we don't have to go through a secretary. We don't have to go through an admin. We can reach right out to the people who will deal with your problem. And 95% of the time, if they can't answer it, they know the person that will be able to answer it. We had issues on a very large job that we had down in Page, Arizona with our Brocs. We were using Brocs for a certain thing. And I had our field staff was having no luck. The field staff called me. I called the president of Brock. He dealt with the issue right away. So it's that kind of, and that's through the NDA. I didn't have the gentleman's number, but I had it through the NDA contact. And that's how you can use the NDA to your advantage. Yes, it may seem like a lot of money to join. It may seem like a lot of money to send your people to the convention or the training. But as Leonard Cherry said at a convention a few years ago, it's not what we give to you, it's what you give to us. And as the members, we are driven by you. And the membership is such a valuable part that we hold the members in such high stead that we work hard as a board member. Peter and I are both board members. And as a board member, we work extremely hard to make sure that we are providing services for our members. We just don't take your money and then go to fancy locations for our board meetings and don't do anything. We put the time, the effort, everything in to make your experience as a member of the NDA valuable. I've been a member of the NDA off and on for going on 25 years now. I'm 37 years in the industry. I'm sad that I missed out 10 years, which I should have been members for, that I thought there was no value in the NDA. I have since massively changed my ways and thinking the value, spending $2,000 to $5,000 a year. My company spends a lot more because they send me to the board meetings. But what I've been told by our CEO, Mr. Rob DiGeronimo, is that we get back tenfold what we put in. So that's my spiel for the NDA. You should join. You want to talk about it. You want to talk on a one-to-one basis, as I'm saying, Peter and myself and Bill, and a lot of people on the marketing and communications committee would be happy to talk to you about it. So Jeff, you could post up maybe my email. If everybody else, I'd be willing to put that up there, and anybody wants to reach out, they can reach out to me. So
same here.
I guess I will now turn it over to Mr. Abram from Company Wrench, who we use a lot. We buy a lot of his equipment. We rent a lot of equipment at Independence Demolition from Company Wrench. Great company, good guys to work with, and just a bunch of great guys to sit down and talk about equipment with.
Well, thank you for that ringing endorsement, Scott. I appreciate that. Scott, obviously, as a demolition contractor, slightly different view of the organization than I or Peter may have as an associate member. Their benefits, certainly for all of us at different levels. As an associate member, again, we supply a lot of different companies, a lot of different demolition tools, both rental and sales and service. And the NDA is just a terrific organization for us. So many of our key players, our key customers are represented. They attend the meetings, and it just gives us a terrific opportunity to meet with them in a different environment, not on a job site necessarily or at their office where they have a limited amount of time or have a lot of distractions. It's just great to catch up with everybody in that environment at the convention or at one of the board meetings. The live demo event has been a tremendous asset, visibility-wise and experience-wise for us to showcase what we can offer to the industry, what our customers are using, what our competitors are promoting, and where we fall short sometimes. We need to look across the aisle and you see a guy's got a better widget and you're like, hey, we need to get on that because we're going to lose out if we don't. So the NDA as a whole, I think, represents to us just great relationships. Again, as Scott said, not just any one person or any one company, but a large scale operation with people at all different levels of the game, from the smaller companies, father and son duos, to larger corporate entities with international offices and job sites. The whole gambit, the whole rainbow of opportunities there. But it's a good organization. So again, from an associate's perspective, it's just a great place for us to meet and greet with our customers, to further relationships, and to showcase our products in a different and unique atmosphere that none of the other organizations that we participate with offer to us as a vendor. So.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. And if I can add to that, Peter Bigwood, I'm the general manager of Mecalac North America. We are a French-based manufacturer of construction equipment, of very innovative construction equipment with attachments available for the demolition segment. I think I also might have the distinction of being the longest serving member of the NDA on this call. So that qualifies me to be cantankerous and grizzled. But I will say a couple of things that I think are important to point out. One is that from the perspective of a manufacturer, and I should point out that I've been involved with a total of 4 companies, 4 manufacturers in my career, all of whom have been members of the NDA. Atlas Copco, which is now called Epiroc, or the division I was in, Flipscreen for a nanosecond, Brock for 8 years, and now Mecalac. And I keep coming back because these are our people. These are people who we value and recognize as being very dedicated to their craft. But if I would say, so clearly for us, it's a boon. I always come back to the networking possibilities. I'm obviously been on the board for a number of years, and so I've got to know a number of the folks, the contractors in the industry, and in a soft way, that certainly have been a resource for them if they have questions about any of the products that we offer. But what I've noticed is that not only is the networking, as we've already heard, between the contractors, and also from the manufacturers to the contractors, I would also say that the members do get a tremendous amount, without blowing my own horn, because there are plenty of other manufacturers as members, of using the manufacturers as a resource for their companies in an informal or formal way, either way. As Scott said, he basically has access to anyone in the industry in terms of manufacturers if he has a specific question, and he knows he'll get an honest answer because we've broken bread together, we've had a drink together, and it's much farther than if he called a salesman or anything like that. So I think that's a huge part of it. And then the other point I would make, I commented on the live demo, which has been a huge change for the better for the convention. But the other thing that I would say is that the organization has become a lot more professional in recent years, and certainly that's partly structural. It's when the change was made to work with Smith Buckland to help manage the association. But the tangible benefits of that, the education portion, the superintendent's training, the foundations of demolition, that I've just seen, heard. This is a tremendous leap forward. It's a tangible benefit that contractors, large and small, can benefit from without question. I've seen that firsthand. And then, so I would say that is, I think, a huge tangible benefit along with the live demo. And then the other one that Scott mentioned is the safety and the certification as well, both tangible benefits that you can take and actually use to your benefit. And as a little editorial point I would make is that in all those years that I've been a part of this organization, there were a lot of people along the way who said, oh, that can never be done. We can't be certifying demolition contractors to help them get more business, to raise the professionalism, the level of professionalism across the industry. We can't train people. That's not our job. That's not true. It's absolutely not true. I think in recent years, the NDA has made tremendous strides forward in those areas. And I think that has made a tremendous difference to the members, without question. That's my take, having observed close hand for almost 30 years.
And you're spot on. I mean, everything that the three of you were saying. So this membership, the organization is driven by the membership. So I know that both Scott and Peter serve on the board. They want your feedback. They appreciate ideas. I do as well. I just posted email addresses for the three of them, along with our website, and my email address I'm putting in the chat right now. So if you have any questions, I would appreciate, you can email any of us. We'd be happy to get back to you. And I do want to say, if you do have questions, so how do I join? How do I access my account? Take this email down, Cameron Wheeler at demolitionassociation.com, C Wheeler. There's his phone number. Any questions at all, help with the safety app, Cameron's there to help you. I'm here to help you as well. So please send them along. And then finally, I did want to get to your questions. So if anybody has any questions from today's session, please feel free to enter them in the chat box. We'd be happy to take any and all questions. So the floor is yours, so to speak. So any questions? Don't be shy.
This is where it always helps to have a question up our sleeve.
Right.
Yeah, there's hardly anybody in this organization that I would
Scott,
qualify
how
as
can
shy.
someone in the industry for 37 years be so damn handsome?
Well, the one question that I've always heard asked is, why? Why do I need this? I'm a little contractor in Kansas. I don't have a need for you guys. And then when you sit down and, as Jeff did, shows you what you get out of it. A lot of these bigger contractors that I'm working for now, these huge utilities, these huge contractors, I mean, we are a big contractor, $30–40 million jobs. A lot of them are now requiring for our superintendents or project managers to have completed the foundations and demolition course before we'll even get an opportunity to bid. I'm not saying that that's going to be across the industry, but I think you're going to see a lot more of it. So I've been in the industry 37 years, as I said, and I took the foundations courses because I learned something from them. I'm planning on taking the certification course as a demolition supervisor. I'm not in the field anymore, but I want to learn. So I think what you put in, you get back, as I said, 10, 100,000 times, you get it back. Think about it, take the time, understand that we're here. As Peter says, you don't want to sit and talk formally about anything, but you want to sit down and have a beer or anything like that with any of the three of us. Come to one of our meetings. We'll be glad to sit down. We'll buy you a beer. We'll sit and talk about, the good things about the demolition industry. And we're very, very honest. We'll talk about the bad things, what we're doing wrong, how we're trying to fix them, what we see it as we're doing wrong. We're not perfect, but we work so hard to be better every day. That's my mantra to myself every day. And I believe that's what the demolition industry is all about, is being better tomorrow than we were today.
That's great.
Amen. I mean, I will say, I know jobs have been won through our membership directory. So all these other benefits, getting your name out there, huge benefit. Would love to have you attend our events. Come and join us. Come and meet Scott Laird. Come meet Mr. Bigwood, Bill Abram. I think, I've heard the word brotherhood, like-minded, etc. So come and join us. And again, explore the website. let us know if you have any questions on the benefits and services. And I appreciate your time today.
Not just to cut you off a little bit there, Jeff, but sisterhood too. We are
That's correct.
we are having a massive push. We did have a massive push at our convention for women in demolition. And if you've got women who want to be part of our industry that work in your organization, bring them along. We need women to be part of our organization because, as I said at convention, we're missing out on a lot of percentage of our population that we could have. So
Great point.
Yeah.
All right, if there are no questions, I want to thank everybody for participating today. Bill, Peter, and Scott, if you can stay on for just a second, and appreciate your time. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
thanks, everybody. Have a great